Welcome to Monday Night Skippys here on Racesport TV and iRacing Live. Joining us, of course, as you are on YouTube. It's a great night tonight, of course. Round number 9 here, the track formerly known as Sears Point at Infineon Raceway. We are here for Skippy racing action. Rachel Whiteford, not Linus Broström, even Connery Maddock and Fraser Williamson tonight as Lena steps out of the booth, replaced by Fraser. Of course, qualifying nearly at an end here tonight. And Bernie Simonson on the pole. We're going to go through your qualifying positions for you right now as that clock has wound down. It's Bernie Simonson on the pole position for 143.092 for him. A good lap for him. He's of course your championship points lead at the moment. Tom Ward is in second. Chris Malcolm, he's in third place. Stuart Adcock in fourth. Nathan Davies in fifth. Mark Turner, he's in sixth place. Clark Williams, seventh. Ashley Beard in eighth. Tim Adcock is ninth. Michael Cotchin is in 10th. Rest of the results for you on your screen. We'll come to you very quickly, Connery. Fast technical course here. It's going to be difficult in the desert.
Of course it will be. Some of your drivers have been calling it a fun car and track combo, but also a very difficult in terms of skill. So this should be an interesting and exciting race, Rachel.
It certainly should be, Connery. Of course, heading to the grid now. Very short amount of time, but Fraser, we'll come to you quickly. Turn 2 here. Possibly the biggest scare moment on lap 1.
Definitely going to be the biggest scare. These drivers will be going 2-3 wide into there, and it's a choke point. Only one line through there. We're probably going to see some sort of incident, so we've got to hope that these drivers use a bit of caution and make it through there in lap 1.
We certainly will, of course. The time is just coming to an end here, but as we mentioned, tricky circuit. This is the circuit they used for IndyCar in 2007 and have used very small variations of it ever since. Of course, unlike the NASCAR layout where we go through that squared off section towards the end of the lap, here we turn right a little bit earlier and we go through a fast twisting section with a carousel and continue America's fascination with carousels on racetracks and not in fairgrounds. Connery, Simonson leading the points at the moment. He's passed Tom Ward last week when Tom Ward lost his engine in the final laps. Stuart Adcock's in third. They're very close on points. This one could be very exciting.
Indeed it is, and they're all right near the top of your qualifying standings at the moment. Bernie Simonson on pole, Tom Ward in second, and Stuart Adcock in fourth on the row behind. So this should be a very, very interesting race up front. Another person of note as well, Bill Fraser, the winner last time out at Imola, is down in 13th.
He certainly is. Bill Fraser not looking like he's going to have as good a race here, but we have known historically this track, Connery, has bred some incredible racing. 2-3 wide for laps on end. So going to be expecting something similar tonight as we get set to head to the grid for 14 laps of racing up in wine country here in Sonoma, California. The weather tonight, 78 degrees Fahrenheit, track temperatures 82 degrees. Winds, they're on the strong side, southwest at 10 miles an hour. Humidity, as you'd expect up here, it's low, it's 39%, so looking forward to an exciting race here. 14 laps will certainly fly by with no questions about that. Qualifying was a 20-minute open section, so as always the draft a factor here compared to the solo qualifying sessions we experience. Bernie Simonson, though, has a good advantage here for turn number 1, especially on the start. Tom Ward, though, has a chance if he can hold this one around the outside, Fraser.
Yes, he does, as that will give you the inside for turn 2, the real first corner. You can just slide it up there and just push to see how far in front he can get of Benny.
I hate to say this, Connery, but this is Sonoma. How many cars will we lose on turn 2, lap 1?
It's kind of difficult to hedge your bets on any particular number, but more than a few, I suspect.
Fraser, any guesses?
I'm going to go about 7 or 8, actually.
7 or 8, a very optimistic suggestion, but I'm going to wait for the cars to head onto the grid now. They're doing just that as we get ready for tonight's 14-lap race. Don't forget this week, folks, you can catch NASCAR action tomorrow night. You can also catch the Leo Bodner Proto GT Series on Wednesday and the Raven Graphics Contender Series. And don't forget, it's not the iAdvance Series, it's the Verizon IndyCar Series on Friday night. And iRacing World Championship Grand Prix Series action on Saturday. So plenty of TV for you to catch up this week, and plenty of racing action in a multitude of different cars. So keep yourselves tuned to iRacing.com, and of course to Racesport Primetime as we bring you all the action. Speaking of action, Simonson on pole, the engine's rev, we're getting ready for that wave from the flag stand, and the green flag waves. We're racing here at Sonoma, and it's a good start up front. clear track for Benny Simonson. He pulls in front of Tom Ward. No advantage there to the number 9 car, but behind him Chris Malcolm with a very good start in third place. Stu Adcock, 52 car. He gets up to the outside of Malcolm. Can he do anything with this? Ward getting very close to Simonson there in turn 2. 2 wide racing action behind them as up there comes Bill Fraser, fighting forwards in the early laps, back qualifying from him. We look further down your field and it looks like everyone's been proven wrong. We survived turn 2 at Sonoma, but how long will that last as we have 2 wide action cars going wide on the racetrack as it's 3 wide for 5th place there. That is Stuart Adcock, Nathan Davies, Chris Malcolm as Adcock off the racetrack there. We turn into the infield section here. This is getting very excitable as Nathan Davies with a big winner there, Connery.
Yes, of course, Nathan Davies making a charge. Stuart Adcock lost out a lot in that he went off the track twice pretty much. As you see Benny Simonson close up to your leader now, and Tom Ward, they're going to go side by side down into turn 7.
Certainly did. Tom Ward got through there in the carousel. We'll keep an eye on what happened with that one as it looks like Simonson going to try for an undercut here. Not going to be quite close enough as well. Nathan Davies, big room for him as Chris Malcolm and Adcock both lose out to the man from the valleys. Behind them though, that is the car of Mark Turner. He's catching up here on Ashley Beard, who did get past him in the early running. We'll keep an eye on that one. Looking a bit further back, there's a big wiggle there from Carl Handley. The 23 car, it wasn't actually Handley, I believe that was, we will find out who exactly that was, but John A. Jenkins was involved, as was a Marlboro car. That was the 77 car, as the 83 is off. Chris Malcolm off the racetrack up here. We'll get you an action and replay of what happened there. Nothing major actually, he just ran off the track as he's rejoined, so we won't show you a replay of that, but running wide in the early running there for Chris Malcolm. Not what he wants to have happen here, Connery. Very early mistake for him as getting passed by a lot of cars in this situation.
Yes, both him and Stuart Adcock have had a terrible first lap, just losing a few positions. They'll be looking to do some damage sort of control right now, try and recover the rest of this race, try and get back up to the front, especially for Stuart Adcock when he has a championship on the line.
He certainly does. We'll keep an eye on what Stuart Adcock can do in this race, but well, Tom Ward was leading the championship till last week at Imola. Fraser, of course, he did lose out with that blown engine. Benny Simonson took the lead by 5 points. Benny Simonson right now is in second. Ward knew he had to take the lead early. He's done just that. Nathan Davies, well, he's not quite in the same points position here, but he does have a good race to fight for. He, I believe, is a little down the order in your points, but he is doing a good job.
Yes, Nathan's still in the battle for top 10, top 5 kind of area in your points, so a 3rd place, if he manages to hold on to the bottom step of the podium, would boost him up into 8th or 7th, past Paul Thurston, past Chris Malcolm, who are both bottom end of your top 10.
We know Davies has had a lot of DNFs this season, of course, involved in battles for the front, so a fast driver, and if he can have a better season next time out, Connery, certainly going to be one of our main contenders here as Simonson and Ward really pulling away now. This chicane here down towards the end of the lap though, a really tight chicane for these guys, tightening on exit as well, possibly the hardest part of the circuit.
I think so too. You have to get your braking done early. The chicane is slower than you think, and you've got to clip both of those apexes nicely to get any kind of speed coming out of that corner. And we see a couple of people locking up into the last corner. That shouldn't affect their time too much, but that may give an opportunity if they slide out towards the wall for someone to stick their nose in.
Certainly is, of course, some very aggressive corners here on the IRL 07 layout of Sonoma. And a quick look at Paul Thurston, about to be passed by Robert Plumley, we think, as Plumley will try and find a way past. He doesn't find an opportunity. He'll have to sit back in line. Actually, that was Seymour Harding as we get our timing and scoring updated there, looking back towards the sharp end of this race. It is still Nathan Davies. He's in a dead zone. Clark Williams ahead of Stu Adcock. So Adcock has dropped back quite a bit here, Connery. Ashley Beard looking quite aggressive here today. Malcolm hasn't recovered very well. Qualified 3rd. He's out in 7th place.
Yes, that is not a great couple of laps from Chris Malcolm. He has a couple of cars ahead of him that he can potentially pass during the rest of this race, but it's going to take a lot of work for him as they come through turn 6, that long downhill left-hander. These Skip Bow cars really do not like it. They get all squirrely in the middle of the corner, and then you've got to nail it on exit to get the best speed you can down the straight.
Certainly does, and we'll have a quick look here at the car of Bill Fraser, that 7 machine, last week's winner. Fighting to try and find a way past Michael Cochin here, who ahead of him has Brendan O'Brien. These guys definitely fighting hard here, Connery. Moving through the field. Fraser up 2 spots right now. Cochin up 1. So these guys on the move.
Yes, these battles throughout your field as we see a car go off ahead of him. I believe that was Chris Malcolm as he goes side by side with Mark Turner down to the chicane. Mark Turner will have the corner though, so another mistake from Chris Malcolm. He's not having a great day.
He certainly isn't, of course, as Tom Ward up front. Again, Simonson in second place. No real gain there, no change of positions for those guys, Connery.
No, of course not. And we see some battling further down your field as Paul Thurston and Tim Adcock going into the last corner side by side. And we have a little bit of contact behind them. I believe that was Robert Plumley on Seymour Harding. Seymour Harding just gets it tapped in the back as a couple of cars go too wide down your home straight.
Yes, they certainly do. Robert Plumley and Andrew Leach there were running side by side as Plumley lost some momentum, of course, in that one, Fraser. Momentum's such an important factor here as that's Tim Adcock ahead of this group here as a bit of a wiggle from Plumley. Andrew Leach gets a little sideways from behind. Here come to rest.
Yes, momentum's key in these cars. Once you lose it, you start plummeting backwards. It's all about getting those runs out the corners so you can defend to your position.
Oh, sorry, Fraser. Bill Fraser on the move actually here as the 28 car side by side there with that 28 machine of Brendan O'Brien. He got past Cochin in the turn in here to this infield section. He's through there on Brendan O'Brien. Great move by that 28 car, move him up to 9th place for now, but a poor run off the corner. Here comes Brendan O'Brien to try and make the move back as a very defensive line there by Bill Fraser. That's a very tight move. The number 7 machine looking like they were going to try 3 wide there. Fraser has the inside line. He should have advantage. He clips a curb and catches contact with Brendan O'Brien. Mistake there from Bill Fraser. Just jumping over that curb, Connery. He's got big damage. He's out of the race.
Yes, that is enough damage to cause a meatball flag, and he's just pulled it over to take a tow to the pits. But yes, Bill Fraser taking a defensive line in his corner just clips the curb a bit too much. These curbs here at Sonoma, some of them are bigger than the Skip Barber cars themselves, so yeah.
We're having a quick look at Seymour Harding there as he's had some issues, I believe, on the racetrack as he's been passed, I believe, there by the car of Andrew Leach, I think that was, who's gotten through. But looking back behind him, Tim Adcock side by side there with another car running down here towards the final corner. Going to be a tight inside line for Adcock, but he will try and make it work. He does. And Plumley behind him as well as Leach. Those two cars trying to find a way through. Andrew Leach can look to the outside. No real opportunity yet, but he's going to have a look inside there into turn number 1. Adcock holds the outside line. No problems for him. He'll hold the corner for turn number 2. There's a train of cars forming behind him. That's Robert Plumley, Matt Jacobs there, Steve Hefford, one of the BSRTC stars coming in to run this series. Plumley about to lose a spot there to Matt Jacobs, Connery.
Yes, and this fighting in your mid-pack is what the UK&I series is all about. The fighting throughout your pack, actually, as we see Tim Adcock go wide and he loses the position. We would have thought to Andrew Leach. Yes, Andrew Leach goes through on Adcock.
He does, and we're not talking much about your leaders here, Fraser, but they've really run away from this one. They've got a 2.7 second gap back to Nathan Davies in 3rd. Davies is being caught slowly now by Clark Williams and Stuart Adcock. We could be seeing a fight for the last step of this podium forming as this race progresses on to lap number 5.
Yes, Benny and Tom have just decided to calm things down, stay in a line of stern and try to pull away from Nathan, who will be slowly getting less aggressive to the track, which is allowing Clark and Stuart to catch back up to him. So he's in that kind of zone where he has to concentrate, but he's got nothing to concentrate to.
Doesn't. We'll have a quick look back towards the 21 car of Tim Adcock in a bit of a battle here with the likes of Robert Plumley, Andrew Leach, who did drop back there. Also involving, that's the 72 car, I think, there of Steve Hefford. He's going to go up at the inside towards the chicane. Plumley not going to have an opportunity, but Hefford will go through there as round behind him goes a car. That, I believe, was the car of, we're going to have a look for a number for you. That was the 24 car of Darrell Taylor, who has been tapped from the rear by that's the 22 machine. Paul Godden just in the back of him there, Connery. Round he goes in a hairpin, nothing he can do, and that's his race in a bit of a pickle.
Yes, unfortunately, that's a kind of incident that can happen in the circle as such as a hairpin. But Steve Hefford making those good passes. He's up from 22nd to 16th in this race. A good run from him.
Yes, good progression there from him as Malcolm has retired from the race. So Chris Malcolm is retired. Replay up for that one there with Chris Malcolm as he goes off the racetrack. Turn number 2 there for you on your screens. Car pushes wide, Connery, off he goes. Nothing he can really do, and I think after losing so many spots, that's him calling it a day.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he just pulled it over and just thought, yeah, this hasn't been going well for me so far, so I might as well pull off. I don't think it's going to get any better.
course, Fraser, we are keeping an eye on this battle for the front here. The 9 and the 12 car, that is Ward and Simonson. Of course, Simonson was qualified in second, first, Ward in second. They flipped that order very early on in the first lap, but when do you start to make a move at a track like Sonoma? Very technical course here, technical layout. You pulled a good gap on third place. Just when do you start fighting?
To me, it's Sonoma. It's take every opportunity you get because it's such a tight, not many long straights, so you can't use the draft to pass, so you've got to get something done under braking, out of an exit of a corner, or just wait for Tom Ward to make a mistake.
We just missed it a moment ago, but Stuart Adcock grabbed a curb and got a corner cut penalty there in the hairpin, as he's been passed now by the car of Clark Williams. From behind, Ashley Beard looking like he wants to take part in this one too. Yes, of course, your battle of 4th, 5th and 6th here. Adcock faster slightly here. Could seem to try and make a pass back, Connery.
Yeah, we know exactly how fast Stuart Adcock is, and he's trying to gain more points for his championship run against Tom Ward. But Tom Ward's sitting pretty at the top there with the points advantage, and he'll look to extend that now this race if he comes home with the win, or at least the second place will do as well.
Certainly will, of course. Adcock on 126 points in this race, of course, as he is 1 round behind Tom Ward and 2 ahead of Benny Simonson. It's going to be very tight, but that's 14 points to make up. Fraser, a huge margin really this close to the end of the season. It's going to require some DNFs to happen.
Yes, it is, and it's looking unlikely. It's looking like it will the championship top 2 be decided between your top 2 of Tom Ward and Benny Simonson.
It certainly could be. We'll have a look back through your field, see what's going on as Daryl Taylor there. Let's look at Simon Maltby actually here for you. There's been a bit of a moment for him, Connery. Do you want to take us through it?
Yeah, so we'll just rewind the tape, and I think he got a loose coming out of 6th, that downhill left-hander, and he just gets almost run into the back of Brendan Bryan almost runs into the back of him, and that causes a bit of pandemonium behind them. People are lucky to get away with relatively undamaged cars there, but a scary moment for all of the drivers involved.
Very much so. Very opportunistic there by Seymour Harding, who shot past Paul Thurston in the confusion. He's moved himself up a spot into 11th place. But Simon Maltby, that car getting a little loose on his own, Fraser. That carousel very fast in this car and very tempting just to give it a bit too much gas. The car a little bit wild for him there, but nice save.
Yes, it is, and with these cars you've just got to try to settle the rear when that happens. Give it a little bit of throttle and counter steer like there's no tomorrow.
Certainly do, as we'll keep our eyes throughout this field here. The battle has closed up between Adcock and Williams, as Stuart Adcock vying to regain that 4th place. The gap 4 seconds between themselves and Nathan Davies in 3rd, so not looking likely for a battle here, Connery. They have spread out quite a bit. This could be who wants to be best of the rest.
Yes, indeed, and you just saw Stuart Adcock go wide yet again. He is, I wouldn't say abusing the track limits, but he is going wide and off into the dirt quite often, as he doesn't quite get the apex there in turn 6 and just drifts out a little bit wide in the middle of the corner, but he manages to get a relatively good exit compared to Clark Williams as he closes up in the draft.
He certainly does. We'll have to see if Stuart Adcock can find a way past here in that number 52 machine at some point soon. It's not looking likely for him though. That car not quite got the speed, and this track's certainly proving to be the better of a lot of these drivers, Connery. There's lots of lockups and lots of cars sliding throughout this race. It's really proving to be quite a difficult combination.
Yeah, that goes back to what I said at the top of the show. So many drivers are saying that this is a very difficult and technical track for your skip bar car, as Stuart Adcock yet again closes up to the back of Clark Williams. You have to wonder when he's going to make the move now.
He certainly do. Stuart Adcock, of course, a veteran campaigner in the series who knows his racecraft. Going to try and find a spot to make a move on that 98 car of Clark Williams. The car looks very similar in colour now to us commentators as Nathan Davies, which is great, guys. Thank you for that one. But Adcock going to try and find a way past. Again, not quite close enough here. The gap not coming down as much as he'd want. It was a gap of just about 3 tenths at the line, so at any bigger track, that would be a great draft pass opportunity. But Sonoma, the straights are short, as Fraser mentioned, so less opportunity. But he is right on the back bumper there of Clark Williams, right into that rear wing, as we head up through the S's here at the first part of the lap. Will he have an opportunity to return into the infield here? He's closer than he has been in a while, but he'll stay in line. Look at the dirt on the racetrack there, Connery. It's being really pulled on here by guys running wide.
Yes, Sonoma is a very dusty track at the best of times, and that just allows the drivers to bring it onto the track. As Stu Adcock again looking for some sort of opening on Clark Williams. He has to be wary of Ashley Beard behind him, though. If he starts battling with Clark Williams there, Ashley Beard might get involved and make this a three-way fight.
It certainly could be possible. Ashley Beard's car, that two-tone car, I thought it was blue for a moment, and backwards it was there. As Adcock goes up the inside of Clark Williams through turn number 11 there, getting a good pass, very cleanly done. Williams pushed very, very wide. Fraser, not what he wanted to have happen. That car just didn't want to turn.
Nope, and that also allows both cars to go back past. That's Adcock and Beard past Clark Williams. That's put Clark back down into 6th, and now he's got to find those positions all over again.
We've seen a few times, Connery, of course, whereas, Ashley Beard is very slow off the hairpin there, and here comes Clark Williams nearly running into the back of that number 2 machine. This has brought Mark Turner into the fight, though. I'll continue with the point, though, Connery. We have noticed that in the past, Clark Williams has perhaps been a little bit of a bottleneck at times. Adcock, we'll need to see if he's got any speed he was hiding here that he couldn't quite use behind the other car. Can he close that gap to Nathan Davies?
It all remains to be seen, but that gap is looking rather larger, at about 2.8 seconds at that time by. If there's a man that can do it, though, it's Stuart Adcock because of his sheer experience in this car, but it's going to be a close one.
It certainly is. We missed it a moment ago, but Benny Simonson's gotten back past Tom Ward. Didn't seem to be a particularly dramatic pass. We saw it was the lap before last, Connery. Pretty easy racing for these two. They're not really pushing these cars much at all. Tom Ward sizing up where he wants to try and make a move on this one. That car hasn't dropped back. The two are almost exactly the same distance apart they have been all race. And positions have changed twice in the duration of this race, and they really seem to be pulling away from this one. Big wide entry there by Tom Ward. Can he go round the outside of Simonson here? Gonna have a good go at it, but he just won't quite make it. He's up the inside. Will Simonson squeeze him? He does. Benny Simonson squeezing Tom Ward there. That was very nearly a moment between these two as Ward right under the gearbox there of Benny Simonson. This is getting to be good here. These guys are going for it now. It looks like the last lap was a prediction we didn't want to see because it's lap 10 and they've started fighting. This could bring Davies into the battle, but he is 6.2 seconds back as Ward gets a very good run there off the chicane. Tom Ward to the outside of Benny Simonson. Can he do anything here? You have to have a look to the inside here for the final corner. Defensive line by Benny Simonson. Not going to let him have the opportunity, but Tom Ward will get a good wide entry. Could this be the run he needs as he gets a big run there on Simonson, but he'll back the car off. He's not going to try yet. He was looking to the inside. He'll go to the outside now for the start-finish line. Can he hold it around the outside into turn 1 and turn 2? Tom Ward's going to look, but he will be back in line behind Simonson there. This is starting to get very racy up front, Connery.
Yes, very racy indeed. Tom Ward is tucked under behind that rear wing of Benny Simonson. They've decided that they should start fighting now in the late stages of this race. They think that Nathan Davies in third is a bit too far behind to catch back up. If both of your leaders go off the track, both Tom Ward and Simonson off into the gravel, into the dirt, but they stay together. That will cost them some time to third place in Nathan Davies, but Nathan Davies needs a few more of those if he's going to get involved.
Oh, before they went off the track, Connery, they'd lost a second to Davies as there goes Simonson sideways there through the carousel. Ward coming back to the lead. These two slipping and sliding all over this racetrack. Dust on those tyres, reducing the grip significantly for these two front runners as, well, the gap will be about 4 seconds, I'm guessing, at the line here as Ward now in the advantage, taking that early turn in to the hairpin as up the inside looks. Simonson will not have an opportunity for this one, though, as back through there, Tom Ward holding the lead on this one. Second place qualifier back in the lead of this motor race. This is definitely hotting up. Very exciting race, and we'll keep an eye on this one as it progresses. But looking behind, it's clear skies for Nathan Davies and Stuart Adcock in third and fourth. Ashley Beard, he's still got Clark Williams to deal with. Mark Turner has dropped off a little bit, but no fighting back there. In fact, no real battling going on for quite a few laps. We do have Barry West and Darrell Taylor down in 19th and 19th. We'll keep an eye on that one. Tom Ward's pulled a bit of a bigger gap this time, Fraser, over Benny Simonson. The gap, the widest we've seen all race.
Yes, Benny went into the chicane too hot. He took some dirt on entry, exit, apex, all the dirt he could manage. So that should give Tom some clear air that he can stretch his legs and try to pull away.
Certainly should do, and as I predicted, it's 4.3 seconds back to Davies, so the gap has come down. If Simonson can get back up there and fight Connery, this could bring it down. This could really bring Davies into the battle, especially if we have contact with your leaders. Both of them no stranger to being attached to each other's cars this season. Davies could be looking at an opportunity here if we have some late race tangles. These two have been very sideways. Do we expect some drama?
We might well do. We know Tom Ward has had his fair share of incidents during the season. So has Benny Simonson, really, but Tom Ward more recently. Benny Simonson will be looking to try and catch Tom Ward right now, but he's running out of time.
He certainly is. As we look at Clark Williams passing Ashley Beard there, he's going to try at least. Right behind him there, pulling out of the carousel, running here down the drag strip at Sonoma Raceway, looking like a mirror image of Ward. And Simonson knows he'll go to the outside against the defensive line of Ashley Beard. Can he hold this one around the outside? A very wide entry there for the car of Clark Williams. No opportunity, but here comes Mark Turner. He wants to get involved in this one too. Mark Turner in that number 13 AM racing car, trying to get involved in this battle here for P7, 8, 6 and 5 on the circuit, but these guys being very, very respectful at this stage. 1.5 seconds, your leader's gap there, as we had a car pushing very wide. We're trying to see who that was. I think Nathan Davies might have had a bit of a moment, Connery. No, he didn't. Perfectly fine for him.
No, Stuart Adcock just locking up a lot into the chicane. That chicane is very, very tight, and it's very easy to get it wrong. Stuart Adcock losing a bit of time. I don't think he'll mind, though. I think Ashley Beard is far enough behind for him not to worry.
Certainly looks that way at the moment for Stuart Adcock. He is in a good place, but Clark Williams is going to try and make the move here on Ashley Beard if he can find an opportunity. Every point matters, and Clark Williams wants to get that car back up into the top 5 of this track. Mark Turner there looking excited as well. He's had some podiums recently, Connery. Very good running. Actually, we'll put this one to Fraser. Some great performances this season from Mark Turner. Oh, as Clark Williams right there underneath Ashley Beard's rear bodywork.
Yes, but Mark Turner will just be wanting good, consistent, clean finishes around the top 5. If you can do that every week, you'll be up the top 5 podium in the championship, because you know those leaders are going to make a couple of mistakes throughout the season. You will get some decent points doing that.
It certainly could. We'll keep an eye on this battle here with Williams, Beard and Turner as it's hotting up here in the second to last lap. Of course, we'll see the white flag this time by, and well, our leader's battle has really broken up there as Ward got past Simonson. We saw the error for Simonson in the chicane. Of course, I've seen him drop back. Nathan Davies in third place. He's seen nobody all race long. A very quiet one for him. Stuart Adcock back into fourth. Good run for him. But here comes Clark Williams and Ashley Beard, the number 98 car, on that 2 of Beard. Good look to the outside here for the chicane. Can he get a better run through the corner than Beard has so far? It's a good run, but it's not good enough there for Clark Williams. No potential moves for him there, as Tom Ward will see the white flag now. 1 more lap to go in this race, and Simonson's mistake has cost him a chance here to fight for the victory. 1 clean lap from Tom Ward is all we're needing to see. Tom Ward will take the checkered flag if he can hold on. Back behind him, Simonson. Davies in third. Adcock in fourth. Ashley Beard, well, it's not certain he's going to stay in fifth. We'll keep an eye on this for a moment, as Clark Williams heads up behind him through turn number 2. 1 last chance. He has to use everything he's got here, and we'll see if he can get something going, trying to finish that car in the top 5. Exactly what he wants. It's a goal he will have set for himself after things have not progressed as well as he would like. But Clark Williams qualified 6th. He's in 6th, so hasn't dropped back. Wants to try and find some more room as he gets very close that time by. Turning into the infield, Mark Turner sitting back, hoping something happens ahead. 2 spots for 1 would be lovely for him. Clark Williams going to try and take a wider entry. He runs wide, though. It's going to cost him a little bit of time. Can he get a better run off the corner? He gets a good run, but it's again not good enough. Williams hasn't quite got what it takes here, as we'll look back to your race leader. Heading now through the S's for the final time, heading towards that final chicane and the hairpin. Tom Ward, a pretty flawless race past your pole sitter Benny Simonson on the first lap of the race today. 1 pass back, and he will take home the checkered flag here as he comes up behind the car there of Johnny Jenkins, about to go a lap down. Oh, he might just stay on the lead lap should this finish the way I think it will, as Tom Ward now has 1 corner left to go. 1 corner and the checkered flag will be his. Tom Ward might see his name backed up there on top of the championship points as he does it. Tom Ward, your winner in round number 9 here at Sonoma. Tom Ward taking that checkered flag. Benny Simonson comes out the final corner, a little dejected, but he'll take 2nd place. Although it could be close. Nathan Davies comes up behind him as, issue there for Benny Simonson. We'll come back and look at that one as Stuart Adcock comes across 4th. Ashley Beard takes 5th place, Clark Williams in 6th. Connery, was Simonson out of fuel?
Yes, I've been looking at some of the discussions about this Skip Barber this track, and it's you have to put in a little bit more fuel than usual, and perhaps Benny Simpson didn't really get that memo. He might have run out coming out of the last corner and coasted across the line IndyCar style like Alexander Rossi, but a very, very close one there for Simonson.
Well, it certainly wouldn't be Rossi style because he did actually have fuel, so a bit of a difference there, but a very close finish for 2nd and 3rd. Davies very, very nearly taking 2nd place. Well, as everyone's come across the line, we're going to run through your finishing positions for today's race, and hopefully going to get a chance to chat to some drivers tonight. Tom Ward brings it home today with a win at Sonoma in spectacular fashion, starting 2nd on the grid. Your pole sitter Simonson has to settle for 2nd place. The man from the Valleys, Nathan Davies, comes home in 3rd, Stuart Adcock in 4th, Ashley Beard in 5th. Clark Williams couldn't find a way past the Beard. He's going to have to settle for a Mustache in 6th place. Mark Turner in 7th, Michael Cochin in 8th place, Simon Mulby in 9th, and Brandon O'Brien your top 10. Rest of those positions up on your screen. Fraser, not as exciting as we've seen in the past races here at Sonoma, but a fairly clean one nonetheless, and it got exciting towards the end.
It was surprisingly clean for the start there actually, but it's what you expect at Sonoma. You expect a tactical, technical race, and that's what they provided for us.
They certainly did. And Connery, any final thoughts?
Yes, Benny Simpson clarified what happened at the end of the race there. He had a lockup and he got a slow down penalty coming out of the last corner, so very, very close there for Benny Simpson. He almost lost it because of a simple mistake.
Yes, he certainly did, and a fantastic race, of course, as we have got some great runs coming up for you in this series. The Skip Barber series, always providing great action here on Monday nights on Race Spot TV. It turns out, Connery, nobody actually likes us tonight.
I don't know about that. We have some great fans out there, but yeah, about this race, we took bets on how many would get wrecked out in the 2nd corner. It turns out no one did, and it was a very surprisingly clean race.
It certainly was, and well, when I said no one likes us, I mean none of the racers, of course, because nobody wants to come and chat to us here in the Race Spot TV booth, so we are going to wrap things up for tonight.
You could talk to me.
We could talk to Will Vincent, actually. In fact, I believe we have his friend George Astaquembo, who is racing in Spirit. No, George isn't here, so we will talk to Will Vincent instead. Will, how was the race for you?
It was alright. It's alright. It's been a while since I've, watched one of these.
It has been indeed. I mean, you used to, of course, commentate this with me. Feels like years ago now, and it is great to have you back in the booth, even if you were being very quiet behind the cameras.
Yeah, you know what's so funny, actually? I was just working it out, and it's now the 3rd year that we're doing Club UK&I Monday Night Skippies in support of Shelter, as ever. And yeah, I think the quality of the racing is what we saw there, We didn't see any drivers with any issues on that first lap. We saw a couple of people go wide in 3A, 3B, a couple of people go wide in 6. That's expected. What we didn't see was a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 car pile-up. And I think that's a testament to these guys that run week in, week out.
It certainly is. Of course, we have had some races this season that have been very, very messy, guys, and it's great to see a race that was almost quiet for these guys. But before we finish up, we will have a chance to chat to Simon Maltby, who has shown up. Somebody actually likes us. It's spectacular. Simon came home in 9th today. Simon, good race for you? You are allowed to talk, by the way, Simon Maltby.
So yeah, I had a good race, started 14th, finished 9th, a lot of battling in the mid-pack here, but yeah, overall good race.
Sounds like Simon has turned into Will Vincent, but we'll wait to see if we can get those technical issues resolved for Simon as we get our weekly chat with Paul Thurston. Paul, quiet one for you, started 12th, finished 12th. Not a good track for you?
Quiet? Were you watching?
Yes, mostly. Little.
I started 12th, lost 2 or 3 places, including Simon, and then basically was nose to tail for about sort of 6 or 7 laps. Then I lost a place. They had a little bit of an incident in front of me, so I had to brake, lost another place, then lost another place, then got it back. It was actually one of my busier races, but yeah, it doesn't look much if you just look at the stats. That's good fun. It's great fun.
Oh, we absolutely love the fact you enjoyed the race. Sonoma, a very difficult track, of course, and Next week we are heading, of course, to Homestead Miami Speedway Road Course B. What do you think of the Roveling?
I'm not an anti-roveler actually. I quite like a lot of the rovers. What's the really fast one? Not Daytona, the other one. I actually love it there on the road course. That's the one. Yeah, Charlotte. I love Charlotte. I'm actually really quick at Charlotte, so I'm sad I'm not doing that one. But yeah, no, I quite like that one. It's I would say this week, you say it's a technical track. It's a tricky little track. It's just it's slippery everywhere, and you never know how much grip you're going to get whenever you come into the corner because everything's off camber. But yeah, next week I like it. It's every track's a challenge. That's what road racing's all about. You're battling the track, and then there's other cars as well to contend with. That's what makes it difficult. It's completely different to ovals, which I'm not. I'm not dissing ovals in any way, shape or form, but basically that's what you're about. Beat the track first, then beat the other guys, then beat yourself normally.
Well, it certainly makes things interesting, but of course we have had Nathan Davies join us for some ovaling recently in the UK&I Club, so you should come along at some point, Paul. But on that point, we'll see if Simon Motley's rejoined us. Simon, can you hear us?
He's the strong and silent type.
Yeah, he's definitely the strong and silent type. I think he's doing some sort of mime interview for us, which is unfortunate because we don't have a webcam set up, which could be entertaining. But as we don't seem to be able to have a chat to Simon tonight, we will wrap things up for the week. You can, of course, join us same time next week, as we will, as we said, head to Homestead Miami Speedway for 17 laps around Roval. Then it's Donington, and then it's Brands Hatch. So, fantastic finale to the season coming up. I've been Rachel Whiteford. I've been joined by Connery Maddock and Fraser Williamson, and a cameo from Will Vincent at the end there, who was technically here all along doing the cameras, but we let him talk. He likes to do that. Join us same time next week for Monday Night Skippies. Good night.